Hey guys, today it's here it is. Here I am, at KC here, and today I am going to be reviewing I Don't Go Outside by Earl Sweatshirt. Never know what Earl Sweatshirt is, I'll be happy to explain. Earl Sweatshirt is a rapper, producer, songwriter from was born in Chicago, Illinois, but I think he probably resides on the West Coast, so in California. But he's like technically a West Coast rapper. Yeah, he's a West Coast rapper. Often known for having a depressive music, and being very experimental in his music, and being a part of the now disbanded group of Odd Future. I mean, no, this is one of my favorite rappers of all time. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. And let's just get right into it with Huey, which is a very misleading intro to the album, because this is unbearably happy, despite the pretty sad lyrics. It's really unbearably happy. Earl Sweatshirt is happy, and seems kind of happy. The instrumental is happy with this nice kind of loopy, frolicky type thing, almost like an intro to, like, I don't know, like a TV show or something. And then we come up with this when he's talking about his like dead grandmother and everything, and like it's sad, but it's like, I'm sad, but everything's gonna be all right in the end or something. That's kind of the mood of this. But then we get at the end of the track where this woman or something says, "Now a formal introduction to the album," and it starts, and the formal introduction is Mantra, a hardcore hip hop track. Most of this is hardcore hip hop, but this one is very hardcore hip hop with its banging like guitar. The guitar is aggressive. It's really kind of acoustic almost. It's not really acoustic. It's like an electric guitar, but it's also acoustic at the same time. You also have the very loud drums and everything. Loud, overbearing drums. Him talking about just like, his passions, his just everything bad going on in his life. Same thing with Faucet, which has a really good transition from Mantra of like a faucet running. This one is again a lot more depressing. It's a very depressing. I feel like it's very depressing, and now it talks about he doesn't know where his real home is. He can't really tell who is who is a snake, who is not, who's a rat, and everything. Then we go over to Grief, which is probably the second most saddest song on here, and that's because the instrumental is so distorted. It is so sad. It's just like a sad and like uncomfortable instrumental to listen to, but it perfectly shows the mood of it. I love what he says. I think at one point he says like, I was making the waves, you guys was surfing in them. My stomach hurt from birthing the shit and everything. It's a very heavy track. And I also like the kind of like alternative kind of rock session near the end too. I like that part. This will go to Off Top, which is one of my least favorite tracks on here, but I do love the use of the sample with the omit. I really like it, but unfortunately I don't like it as much as some of the other tracks. Then we go to Grown Ups, which is kind of iffy. At first, after a couple listens, it's a good track. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't like how it's done. I don't like the beat that much, honestly. The rapping is kind of weird. Like, there's a feature on it. Dash features on here, and the way that he does is so weird. Like, he's like featured on it, but he's like behind Earl Sweatshirt while he's rapping. So while Earl Sweatshirt is rapping, he's kind of like saying exactly what he's saying in the back. It's a pretty cool way to do a feature, but it's just kind of weird. Next we got AM Radio, which is probably the best track on here. It's nice. It is airy. It is kind of conscious too. I like the little cheering that goes on throughout the kind of track, like the kids. It's very nice, and it's just kind of like brings you into the mood that goes into Inside, where it's also really nice. It's airy. It's very like I'm gonna say psychedelic, but kind of druggy. It's very druggy. A lot of the tracks on here are druggy. and it just talks about him being inside of his house. He's been living what he's written, which also he says on Grief. He's living when he's living what he's writing about. He doesn't like anything. He's staying inside and everything. Then we have DNA, which is the saddest track on here. DNA is in fact the saddest track on here, being that not only is Earl Sweatshirt mad that comes on with a very aggressive flow, which is a very aggressive flow. But Na-Kel comes in here and talks about how apparently before this, his friend actually died, and him and Earl Sweatshirt actually got high off of acid or something, and then he got the news of his friend dying, so he had to do the recording like that, and he talks about his friend. It's a very sad track. So is the instrumental. It is so like demented. It's unbelievably demented. It's like not unbelievably, but like you can hear the evilness in it, the evil and the sadness and the despair in it. It's a very nice track. Then we go over to Wool as a closing track, which I just love so many lines on here. Especially no, it was like I especially like the line 50's falling out my pocket like fucking baby teeth. I thought that was very nice. I love that track. I think Vince Staples comes in here with a pretty good verse too. And also I think kind of like the Wool aesthetic, the DNA beat kind of carries over into Wool too. It's very, like I said, demented, sad. There's a lot of despair in it. I also love the track. Like I'm trying to keep the one into the minimum or something on AM radio. In conclusion, this is a very cohesive one, a cohesive album by Earl Sweatshirt, and definitely a step above freaking Doris in a lot of ways, in instrumental wise, theme wise, and the way he raps, everything. I would give this strong to light 9.5 out of 10. Strong 9, light 9.5 out of 10. And objective score probably like 8.5. But yeah, see ya. Also, check out the album.